Mic test, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So welcome to today's live class, guys. A very wonderful Wednesday evening to everyone. How are you all doing? Rika, very nice to see you after so long. Good day to you. Sigo123 says hello to you as well. Sigo123 and everyone else. Miss Rubaina, thank you very much for joining in. Okay. Today's class is on quadratic sketches, guys. Welcome to the session today. Hope everyone is having a nice middle of the week. What up, Amor, okay, 𝐒𝐶𝐫𝐲, and everybody else. Okay, welcome to the live. How are y'all doing so far, guys? Let me know in the chat box. How is your Wednesday? How's your Wednesday, guys? Let me adjust this thing, man. Okay. Much better. Okay, Pugashini, good day to you. Thanks for joining in. Guys, those who just joined, today we are going to do quadratic sketches. Okay, this is a secondary 3 topic. Okay, so if you are in Sec 3 and above, today's lesson will be useful for you. Alright, so please don't forget to smash the like button so that more people can join in, and spam the like button. Spam it, guys. And don't forget to also share this live. The button to share is somewhere at the bottom. Okay, so do share so that more people can learn with us today. Okay, now friends, I have a very first question here for all of you. Okay, nothing so fancy, nothing so difficult. My friends, what is the shape of this quadratic equation? Is it a sad face, smiling face, angry face, surprise face? Which one is it? What is your answer for this particular question, guys? Sad face, smiling face, angry face, or is it a surprised face? Which one is it? Okay, let's go. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, guys. Amor Pretty 2711 says it's B. 𝐒𝐶𝐫𝐲 says it's a smiling face, says it's B as well. Okay. The rest of you just join. Welcome to the live. Welcome everyone. We are doing secondary school mathematics today. And the topic for discussion is on quadratic black manta. Today is on secondary 3 and above. Sec 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so if you are Sec 3, 4 and 5, this is a fantastic avenue, is a fantastic opportunity for you guys to learn together. Okay? Super. Drag this guy down a bit. Okay. Okay, friends, what are your answers for this? I'll learn this next year. Yeah, so it's okay to learn a little bit more so that when next year comes, you're much more confident. Okay? Good luck. Okay, guys, I give you guys 1 more minute. Okay, and then we're going to go through the answer for this question. Okay, you have 1 minute. Sec 2 pretty interesting. Okay, it's a pretty interesting time for secondary 2 because you learn a lot of new things. Like there's a lot of algebra formulas. Okay, some new geometry topic, 𝐒𝐞𝐜𝐴, Pythagoras theorem, all of these you learn in secondary 2. Okay, guys, 30 more seconds. What's your answer? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Is it D? Which one is it? Which one of these 4 options are your answers? Let's go. I want to see who choose a surprise face here. Who is the one who will choose that option? Okay, surprise face. Three, 2, and let's go. Okay, come guys. So what is the shape of this quadratic equation? Now, to know the shape of a quadratic equation, all you need to do is this, guys. Okay, you need to study the coefficient of x squared. Haziq Johari says it's D, Norm says it's B. Guys, what do I mean by coefficient of x squared? Go to the x squared and ask yourself, what is before the x squared term? What is before the x squared term is actually an invisible positive 1. Okay, in algebra, when there's nothing there, there is a plus 1 there. Okay? So when the coefficient of x squared is positive, just like a positive person who likes to smile all the time, when your coefficient of x squared is positive, the shape of your graph will be a smiling face. I hope this is clear. But when we get something like this, okay, let's say we get something like y equals to negative x squared plus 5x minus 6. Have a look at the coefficient of the x squared term. In this case, it is negative 1, which means if your equation is like this, then you will have a, what kind of face? Sad face graph. Okay, so in this case, pretty straightforward, because we know that the coefficient of x squared is a positive 1. This is gonna give us a smiling face. Answer for this question, option B. Okay, my friends, if you're able to understand this, fantastic. Take down some notes for yourself. Write it down. Okay, you can even start sharing this live with more people so that many more people can join us in this free learning session. Okay guys, let's go on to the next page. Okay, now when it comes to quadratic sketches, there are 5 key points that you guys need to know. Okay, you need to investigate the 5 points like a policeman. What is the first point all about? What is the second point all about? What is the third point? And you need to follow the rules. Okay, you guys need to follow the rules for all of the 5 points. What are the 5 points when it comes to quadratic sketches? Now, the first one, guys, is called the shape. Okay, you need to take a look at the shape. Is it a smiling face or is it a sad face? Okay, so how to know the shape? Look at your x squared coefficient. Simple as that. Again, how to know the shape? Look at your x squared coefficient. If your x squared coefficient is positive, it's going to be a smiley face. If your x squared coefficient is negative, like in this case, it's going to be a sad face. Okay, so first step, take a look at your shape. A second step to this, second part of this checklist, guys, is to take a look at your y-intercept. Okay, now what is the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept occurs when the value of x is 0. Now this is where the graph cuts the y-axis. As the name suggests, this is where the graph will cut the y-axis very nicely. Okay, now the next thing you need to know is your x-intercept. Alright, now guys, think about it. Okay, if the y-intercept occurs when x is 0, alright, the x-intercept will occur when what is equals to 0. Who can tell me this? Anyone can tell me in the chat box. The x-intercept will occur when what is equals to 0. That's another question for you guys. Okay, N says y, Haziq says y. So it's like opposite, right? Just remember it as the opposite. Okay, y-intercept, x is 0. Very nice. Alright, x-intercept occurs when y is 0. So what we put here, we're going to put y is 0 here. Very nice. Okay, now we move on. The fourth thing you guys need to know is this thing called the turning point. Okay, turning point. Now, if you have a smiley face, like in the graph earlier, right, there was a smiley face there. If you have a smiley face graph, like this, then you will have what is known as a minimum turning point. A minimum turning point means it's the lowest turning point that you have. What is the coordinates of this particular minimum point? Okay, now if however your graph is a sad face, that means you will now be working with not a minimum point, it turns at the maximum point, it turns on top. Okay, then the top part here will be called the maximum point. Alright, so you have the minimum point nicely, you have the maximum point there as well. Now the last thing you guys need to know is this thing called LOS. What is LOS? LOS is short form for line of symmetry, which will always, guys, this is a special thing about line of symmetry, it will always pass through the center here. Always the case. Okay? Now, with that being said, let us move on to the next question where you guys need to start sketching. Okay, now let's say, for example, in a quadratic equation style of question, you are supposed to sketch a graph like this. Immediately at the side, what you can do is to write down your 5 points. Number 1, your shape. Number 2, your y-intercept. Guys, take some time. Let's write this down. So the 5 points are this. You write your shape, you write your y-intercept, you write your x-intercept. Excuse me. Number 4, what is your TP? TP means turning point. And number 5, you have this thing called line of symmetry. Okay, now this graph here, right? Okay, if you notice, if you take the negative x and x, right, you times it together in a rainbow method. This is gonna give you negative x square. Okay, so this is gonna give you negative x square. So when you do a rainbow method, definitely you're gonna get negative x square, which tells us, right, that the shape of this graph is a set face. Okay, this is a set face. Why set face? Because you got a negative coefficient for x square. Remember what we were discussing earlier? Guys, if you have a positive x square, smiley face. Negative x square, sad face. Okay, I hope this is very clear. Alright, now so we go back to the shape here. The shape of the graph here will be a sad face graph. Obviously, no need to put the eyes, no need to put the mouth and everything like that. Okay, so just like that, the shape, very nice. So straight away, right guys, you are able to say that since I have a set face, I will also have a maximum turning point. Maximum. Why maximum? Because the graph goes up, turns at the top and goes down again. So the turning point that we are working with is actually a highest point or is a maximum point. Okay, so this is a maximum point kind of graph. Very nice. Now let's investigate how does the y-intercept look like. Or where is the y-intercept? Where does the graph cut the y-axis? Okay guys, how to do this? Guys, how to do this? Now the y-intercept will occur when the value of x is 0. So what do we need to do next? We take that x and we pump it into the equation. Okay, so now go back to that equation that we have in this question. Assume all the x to be 0. Juliet Lee, fantastic job from you. And then you find the y. Make sense? Okay, again, you assume all the x to be 0 and then you find the y. Friends, so how does that look like? That will look like this. Okay, y equals to 3 minus 0 and then 0 plus 1. Then all you need to do here, right, just press the calculator. In fact, you don't even need to press, right? Okay, because this will become just 3 times 1, which is just 3. Okay, guys? So the y-intercept, where does the graph, this quadratic graph, where does it cut the y-axis? It cuts at y equals to 3. So when x is 0, y is 3. So this is a coordinate that we will take note of when we sketch the graph. Okay, now next one, x-intercept. Now the x-intercept occurs when, okay, earlier on we said, okay, y-intercept occurs when x is 0. We said that. So x-intercept occurs when the other one is 0. So the other one is y. So this occurs when y is 0. Okay, fantastic. So now let's use a different color and let us try and find the value of x. And how do I do that? Guys, how do I do that? We take y to be 0 and we try and solve for x now. Okay? So it's like a bit opposite. So 3 minus x, x plus 1. Now everything equate to 0. Everything equated to 0. Basically, you are just telling me that the whole equation y is just 0. And now it becomes so straightforward because what we have now is 3 minus x is 0 or x plus 1 is 0. There are two options for you. Okay? So let's try and solve that. So 3 minus x is 0 or x plus 1 is 0. So with that, right guys, you will know that from the first option there, 3 minus x is 0. Okay, from the option over here, the first option, you will know that if you bring the 3 over, that negative x is negative 3. remove the negative from both sides, and then you will know therefore x is 3. Or for this one, it's pretty straightforward, x is just -1. So guys, now you have these two options for your x-intercept. This is where your graph cuts the x-axis. Okay, so go back to the checklist here and we will say, oh coach, I know what's x-intercept already. X is a -1, okay, or x is 3. Fantastic. Okay, these two options are there for you now. Okay, -1 and 3. Wow, so nice. Now, just like that, we have found our x-intercept. Now, how do we find the turning point? Where exactly does the graph turn at the top? Where is the maximum point? Right? Now, to do that, we're going to sketch the graph first, and then I'm going to explain to you from the graph sketching itself. Okay, I hope this is okay for you guys. Now, let's just make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so we already got, again, this part here. Let me just repeat again one more time very, very quickly. This part here is finding your y-intercept. This part here is finding your x-intercept. Okay, now friends, if you are able to understand the y-intercept, the x-intercept, please smash that like button, double tap, so that I know that you guys are there with me and you are able to understand the first, second, and third point. Guys, let me know please. Oh, okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, great job guys. So 1, 2, and 3 settled already. We got the shape, we got the y-intercept, we got the x-intercept. So these 3 things are settled. Now the next thing we do, we try and find the turning point. But as I've shared with you, we are gonna find the turning point only when we sketch the graph in this case. Okay, so let's try and do that now. Let's try and sketch the graph, okay? So let me draw this aside. Okay, nice. X and Y. Okay, and then you got the origin here as well. Oopsie daisy. Origin is there. Okay guys, so now what happens next is this, okay? We're gonna mark out our key points. Okay, our key points are the y-intercept, the 2 x-intercepts as well, these 2. Alright, these are the main points that we need to target. So the graph cuts the x-axis at -1 approximately here, and 3 is approximately there, and then y-axis at somewhere here. Okay, so to draw the graph, go upwards and then down this way. Okay, this is a very rough sketch of this particular graph, whereby over here is going to be -1. Over here is going to be 3, and the y-intercept is 3 here. Now, where does the graph turn? Some of you are like, coach, how about the turning point, coach? How to find the turning point? This is where you got to take the middle of your x-intercept. Okay, now you see an x-intercept here and here. Okay, these 2 are your x-intercept, -1 and 3. Okay, and the way to find the turning point is to just average out the -1 and 3, and your turning point will just be in the middle here. I hope this is clear for you guys. So again, I repeat, the turning point will always happen between your 2 x-intercepts. Okay, so let's focus on the turning point calculation now. Turning point. X coordinate is just the 2 x-intercept averaged out together. Okay, average them out together. So let me just move this aside. Okay, so if you can see the 2 x-intercept, they are -1 here, and then you got 3 here, right now? Okay, so you average out. What's the meaning of average? Just add the 2 x-intercept and divide by 2. So when you do that, you get 2 at the top. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So x is 1. Alright guys, so what do? Go back to the graph and we will put x is equals to 1 right here. Very nice. Okay, so when x is 1, what is the value of y then? Okay, so when x is 1, what is the value of y? Because I need to find the turning point's coordinates. What to do next? Take the x as 1 and pump it into your equation. Guys, let me know in the chat, what is the y coordinate for the turning point? Again, all you need to do is this, okay? Take x as 1, put it into your equation. Let me know in the chat, guys. What happens when x is equals to 1? Let me just on the AC for a while. It's pretty warm here. Okay, come guys. Okay. Some of you say 4, 4, 4. Okay. So basically this becomes like a y is equals to 3 minus 1 and then 1 plus 1. Okay, so this becomes 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so you guys are right. Okay, TZ Viz, Painted Wolf, Haziq Johari, and everyone who commented, thank you very much for all your wonderful participation. RA3445 as well. So again, when x is 1, y is 4. So now I have my turning point, which is 4 here, and this is 1, 4. Very nice. Alright, so you got your x-intercept. Guys, you got your x-intercept, you got your y-intercept. Okay, let me show in the mouse here. My friends, you got your x-intercept, -1 and 3. You got your y-intercept, which is 3. And then you got your turning point, which is 1 and 4. Very nice. Okay, so all these 4 points, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, settled already. The last thing you need is the line of symmetry. Now again, you put a tick here, tick, tick, tick. Very nice. The checklist is almost completed. The last point you need, guys, is the line of symmetry. Okay, now the line of symmetry, as I shared earlier, will always cut through your turning point. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, that means the line of symmetry will be this black dotted line here, right? Smack in the middle. Okay, right smack in the middle. Can you see this black dotted line here? Okay, and it will always pass through the turning point. So once you have the turning point, you win already. Because once you have turning point, you are able to say the line of symmetry as well. Okay, so let me just highlight this to you guys. The line of symmetry in this case will just be x equals to 1. That will be this red color. Okay, let me highlight for you in red, bright red. Okay, that will be this red color line here that cuts the curve into 2 equal parts. Okay, and don't forget, at the end of the day, you got to label your graph. Okay, every graph should have a name, every equation should have a name as well, right now, guys? So we put y equals to 3 minus x and then x plus 1. Settle. My friends, that's how you sketch a quadratic equation using the 5-step process. Okay, using the 5 steps. So again, you study the shape, you study the y-intercept, you study the x-intercept, you study your turning point, and you study your line of symmetry. You get a very wonderful looking sketch that meets all the criteria. All the 5 points you settle, and the teacher is going to be very proud of you. They're going to give you that full marks for this. Okay, now friends, I am going to move on to the next question for you guys. Okay, which is question number 3. And this is where it gets pretty interesting, guys. Okay, this one gets pretty interesting because there is one of the intercept is missing. Totally missing. So again, when we do quadratic graph sketching, put in your 5 pointers. Number 1, your shape. Study your shape. Number 2, your y-intercept. Study your y-intercept. Number 3, your x-intercept. Number 4, your turning point. And number 5, this thing called line of symmetry. Okay, if you want to put some letters to help you, that's also possible. S, Y, X, T, L. 6. Okay, put the 5 letters there and it will help you out, guys. S for shape, Y for y-intercept, X for x-intercept, T for turning point, and L for line of symmetry. So again, I repeat, this is a 6 rule. 5 steps. Okay, guys? Deal Digger, welcome. Deal Digger. San, welcome to the session as well. Miss Anita as well, good day to you, welcome. Miss Rosie and everyone else who is joining in today, welcome to the live class. Today we are doing quadratic sketches. Alright, this is a must know for secondary math. Okay, I hope it benefits you guys. And please don't forget to follow and like this live as well, guys. The follow button's at the top. Smash that follow button so that you never miss out on any mathematics tutorials. Friends, a question on sketching the graph. The first thing I would like you guys to tell me, right, guys, is the shape of this particular graph. Is this smiley face, sad face, angry face, or what face is this? What face is this graph? What is the exact shape of this particular graph here? Okay, again, there's only two shapes. Sad face, smiley face. These two only. Only these two. So what is your answer for the shape of this graph? Let's go. Negative. Some of you say smelly. Oh, not smelly, yeah, please. It's a smiley face, okay? Smelly face is something else. Please don't go around and smell someone's face. That would be very weird. That would be really weird, you know. Okay, what face is this? Smelly is not smelly, sorry. Smiley face? Sad face? What kind of face is this? Those who just joined, those who shared the live, thank you very much. Legend Bind, thanks for sharing. Smiley face, okay. Sad face, some of you. Alright, I see a combination of answers. Smile, smiley, okay. Very nice. Okay. A while more I will tell you all the shape first. But okay, meanwhile you can just, you know, write it down on a piece of paper. What kind of graph does this look like? Alright. Interesting question here. Okay guys, let's go. Your what? Just joined. My gosh. Saya didn't watch. Susan FTWW, yes. Thanks for the follow, guys. Okay, friends. What shape is this? Okay, now how to know the shape? You look at your x squared term, okay? So when you expand this, right? Let's try and expand this using our algebra skills. Okay, let's expand this. So it's a minus b squared, which is a squared minus 2ab, which is 6x, plus 9 plus 1. That's how you expand this particular side of things here. That will, that's stood up. Okay, that will become this one here. Okay, so again, a minus b squared is nothing but a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, which is just x squared minus 6x plus 9. Okay, then plus 1. Now, if you study the x squared term, it is actually a positive 1x squared term, which, as I've shared, when you have a positive x squared term, alright, you are going to have a smiley face. So in this case, it's going to be a smiley face shape. Your shape very clearly is just like that. There will be a minimum point to this particular graph. Okay? There will be a minimum point. So the shape is settled. Now we move on to the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept occurs when the value of x is 0. Okay? So what do? We take x, we pump x to be 0 into your equation. Some of you are wondering, Coach, which one do I sub in? Do I sub in the last one? Do I sub in the second one? Do I sub in the original? Try and work with the original. At best, always work with the original equation, just in case, you know, you expanded wrongly or something. Okay, so at least we have that original equation to fall back on. Alright, so when we sub x to be 0, what happens? Okay, you can calculate this. Alright, let's try and find the y-intercept now together, guys. Y is equals to 0 minus 3 square plus 1. So this becomes 9 plus 1. My friends, the y-intercept is nothing but 10. Simply put, the y-intercept is nothing but 10. Okay? So we go back to the y-intercept here and you just put y as 10 here. Finish. Okay? Now x-intercept. This is a little bit tricky for this equation, you know. A little bit tricky. Anyone can try and find the x-intercept for me? X-intercept occurs when y is 0. Am I right? So what do? You change the y to be 0. So let's write this down here. X-intercept. Okay, so you focus on x-intercept now. So basically x minus 3 square plus 1, everything is just 0. And then you try and find the x. How to find the x now? Okay, bring the 1 over, it becomes negative 1. Okay, bring the 1 over, it becomes negative 1. So it becomes x minus 3 square equals to negative 1. And then you try and remove the square. Guys, you try and remove the square. This is something different that's going to happen now. Because when you try and remove the square, my friends, you square root the other side. If you have a calculator with you, that's fantastic. My friends, square root the other side plus minus square root negative 1. Are you able to square root a negative number? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat, guys. Are you able to square root this negative 1 right here nicely? Can you do that? User 118, welcome. Said in watch, welcome. N says no, cannot square root. No. Bugazini says no. Unicorn says no. Isha says no as well. My friends, you cannot square root a negative number. So how then? How? Some of us, I know what you will do. You will just take the calculator and you will force the negative to become positive. How many of you are guilty of that? Hands up. Hands up if you are guilty of that. Guys, you are guilty. Oh, like you cannot, you press the calculator, alamak, our calculator give me error, oh my gosh. And then you, never mind. The negative just change to positive. Then we can do, the answer is 1. How many of you are guilty of this? Hands up, because I was once like that, to be very frank with you. Guys, you cannot square root negative, and please don't go and change the sign anyhow. So what does it mean? This means that this graph does not have x-intercept. Okay? So it's okay not to have x-intercept. Meaning the graph will not touch the x-axis. There is no x-intercept. It will not touch x-axis. It will be a hanging graph. It will hang either above or below the x-axis. Okay? But it will not touch it. So basically this tells us, right, guys, that there is no x-intercepts. No x-intercept. The pressure of getting right answer. Yeah, that's why. Okay, you all got to understand. Okay, it's okay not to have a x-intercept, right? So in this case, no x-intercept. All of you go and write that down. There's no x-intercept. Alright, very clear here. Okay, next. Turning point. Now, earlier on, how do we find the turning point, right? We found the middle of the x-intercept. Okay, we did this to find the turning point, remember? We had to find the middle of the x-intercept. That's how we get the turning point. But in this case, cannot. Why cannot? Because there's no x-intercept to play with. So how to find turning point if there's no x-intercept? Then you got to look at the graph equation itself. This is a completing the square equation, guys. Let me teach you a trick. When you see an equation like this, whereby you have a group square, and then there's like a term here, a constant term, this is called completing the square form. Okay, so over here, we call this the completing the square form. I hope this is okay for you guys. So when you see a CTS form, right, guys, it becomes even easier to find turning point, because your turning point will just be 3, 1. Some of you are like, how you get 3 and 1, guys? Coach, how to get 3 and 1, coach? This is when you look at your completing the square form. Look at inside the bracket there. Inside the bracket is x minus 3, am I right? You equate that to 0 first. Okay? So you let x minus 3 be equals to 0. X is just 3. And you will take this as your x coordinate. Very nice. Take that as your x coordinate of your turning point. Now, how do I get 1 here? Is basically from the y part here, the constant part will just be your y coordinate of the turning point. Okay, so there's an x part and then there's a y part as well. So for the x part, there's a little bit of work to do, which is this one here. And then for the y part, you just take this and take it as your y coordinate, finish. Okay, so whatever is here, y coordinate for the turning point. Whatever is here, we do one step, we find the x coordinate, we put it here, finish. Okay, so where does the graph turn? Where does it have a minimum point? That will be 3 and 1. Okay, now next one, line of symmetry. It will always pass through your turning point. So line of symmetry in this case will just be x equals to 3. Again, how do I get that? From this guy, we pump it here. That is your line of symmetry. And now friends, we are prime time. Okay, it's prime time to go and sketch this graph. Okay, so let's go and sketch this graph now. Okay, let's put it here lah. Okay, need space lah, so we'll go and sketch this graph first. Okay, so again, this is a CTS form. CTS. Alright. Let's sketch this out. Okay, so I have my shape, I have my y-intercept, x-intercept, turning point and line of symmetry. These 5 things are there. Now is the time for us to go and sketch this particular graph. Alright, so now once the 5 things are there, we can go. Again, what are the 5 things? Sixtel. What are the 5 things? Sixtel. S-Y-X-T-L. Sixtel. Now, let's go. Now again, I have the shape, which is a smiley face. I have my y-intercept, which is 10. So it's going to cut the y-axis at 10. I don't have any turning x-intercept. This is not there. But I have turning point at 3 and 1. So what I can do, I can just put the turning point first. 3 and 1 is over here. Okay, that's where the graph turns. Again, it's a minimum point. So from there, you can draw your quadratic graph. Okay, guys. So you just draw like that. Go upwards. Okay. So this point right here is 10. Why? Because that is your y-intercept. Okay. Your turning point also there nicely. Very nice. You can go and label your turning point as 3 and 1. And then you can also go and what is that? Guys, you can also go and label your equation. Don't forget to do that. Okay. Now some of you are like, again, coach, how do I label? Do I write my original equation? Do I write the expanded version? What do I do? Okay, you can always write your expanded version. So this is x minus 3 square plus 1. That's all. Okay, and then you can put your line of symmetry as well as a practice today. Guys, as a practice, let's put our line of symmetry over here. Okay, so this is x equals to 3 as the line of symmetry. Alright, that's all guys. Okay, this will give you the full marks for this particular sketching question, whereby we have just gone through the 5 things. Okay, the shape, the y-intercept, x-intercept, turning point, and the line of symmetry as well. Alright, I hope this is clear for you guys. Okay guys, we have time for one last question, so let's talk about that now. Okay, now what you can do, you can have read this first. Okay, read this question first guys. Okay friends, one final stretch for tonight's live. Okay, we have question 4 here. Diagram below shows the curve y equals to x squared minus 2x plus k, where k is a constant. Okay, so you have a constant item there. The curve cuts the x-axis at 3 and 0 and the y-axis at b. Find the equation of a line that is parallel to AB and passing through the point -2 and 5. My friend, this is actually a coordinate geometry, a linked question as well. Okay, it's not fully quadratic equations only. Okay, there's also a portion on coordinate geometry also over here. Okay, so take some time. Okay, go through this, and the first thing you can do, right guys, is to find the value of k first. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. Okay, what you can do now, maybe you can just take these coordinates here and pump it into the equation. Okay, so you see 3 and 0, right? This is x, this is y. So you get those things and then you pump it into the equation. Okay, friends? So you get your x, get your y, and put it back here. Come, let's go. Okay, some of you say -3 is there. Okay. Okay, how to find k? What you can do, just take a and put it back into the equation here. So y is equals to x squared minus 2x plus k. So you sub in the a, which is 3 and 0. Okay, so you put the x and y coordinate for a inside here, and then you can find the k. So this 0 equals to 3 squared minus 2 times 3 plus k. 0 equals to 9 minus 6 plus k. 0 equals to 3 plus k. And if you bring that -3 over, then it becomes k. So k is just -3. Finish. Okay guys, so you see, once you find k, right, what you can do next is to rewrite your equation. Okay, let me just make this a little bit smaller, guys. Okay, so from here, right, what we do, we rewrite. So basically the k, we put it back into the equation there. Okay, take the k, put it back into the equation. So when you do that, you will be left with y is equals to x squared minus 2x, right, minus 3. That's all. Okay. So the k has been replaced with -3. Now I need to find the equation that is of a line parallel to AB and passing through this point. Now in order for me to do that effectively, right, what you need to do now is to find what is B. Now friends who are online still, okay, thank you very much for joining in today. I know you guys are quite tired from school and all. Okay, there's still quite a number of you willing to learn in these free live classes, which really motivates us to do a little bit more for you guys as well. Okay, now friends, what you can do now, let me know how to find B. B is a y-intercept. Y-intercept occurs when what is 0? Could you help me out there? Y-intercept occurs when what is 0? Okay, very good. When x is 0. So, what you do, right, to find b, you can say this, okay, at the point b, x is 0. Very nice. Okay, then you proceed, you go and find the y value. So, y is just 0 square minus 2 times 0 minus 3. Very nice. Guys, the value of y there is just negative 3. So, over here, we're just going to put negative 3 there. So nice. Okay, so you got a, you got b, 3 and negative 3 there. Let's label the coordinates itself. So this will be 0 and negative 3. This will be 3 and 0. Now what you need to do next is this. That particular line that they want you to find, right, is parallel to AB. Parallel to AB means it goes from A to B in a parallel manner. Okay, it may not be the exact same line, but it has the same. If you are parallel, means you have the same what? Starts with G. Same what? Who knows? When I say that two lines are parallel, they're gonna have the same, the exact same. What items there? Unplug my life support says gradient. Haziq Johari says gradient. Fantastic. Okay. When you have parallel lines, they're gonna share the same gradient. So in order to solve this question, guys, okay, in order to solve this question, we'll need to find the gradient of AB first. Okay, we are almost at the end, guys, so please stay strong, and we're gonna finish off strong as well. How do I find the gradient of AB? Let's try and do that together. Gradient of AB. Now, this will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is just negative 3 over negative 3, which is just a positive 1 gradient, that's all. Okay, positive 1 gradient, very nice. Now, in order to find the equation of the line passing through or parallel to AB and passing through this point, that equation will be y equals to mx plus c. Okay, the m is the same as this one. Okay, because they are parallel, they're going to share the same m, they're going to share the same gradient, and since we know it passes through this point, we can then sub in this point into our equation right here. Okay, so what we do next, we will just sub in the points negative 2 and 5. Okay, sub that in, and guys, when we do that, we are able to then try and solve this question. Let me just add a page here. Let me do that. Add page. Okay, so you sub it in, you're gonna get 5 is the y coordinate, is negative 2 is the x coordinate, plus c. C is 5 plus 2. C is 7. Okay, therefore, we are able to write the equation of the line y equals to x plus 7. Finish. So basically, it's the exact same equation as over here. It's the same thing. It's just that now we have successfully found the c coordinates already. Finish. Okay, guys. Okay. So friends, wow. Today's session is quite intense, the quadratic sketching part. Okay, so friends, I just wanted to thank all of you today for your fantastic participation. Okay, despite this being a school day, on a Wednesday, all of you are able to tune in and you learned well, you participated well and stuff like that. Okay, so I really hope that these sessions have brought you some benefits for your math, and we hope to do this a little bit more every single week. We try and do it 3 times. Okay, MasterMaths Try and goes live on Tuesdays. Okay, in case you are not so sure, on Tuesdays at 8 p.m, my friends, we do PSLE Maths. Alright, on Wednesdays, 8 p.m, we do E-Maths for secondary level. Okay, E-Maths secondary. And then we go to Fridays, we will be talking about 8 p.m, we will be talking about A-Maths. Alright, all these are free to learn classes. You guys can just tune in and join. You can invite your friends as well. Where to get the links for the for the notes and all, you can go to this particular Telegram group. Go and search for MasterMaths Secondary. Okay, that's where we will share all the notes, all the links for the sessions and all. Okay, you can stay updated in our Telegram group. Alright. Okay guys, so with that, have a wonderful night and nice Thursday, nice Friday to all of you, and a nice upcoming weekend. We'll catch up again next week, same time, same place. A twist and peace out, friends. Bye bye. Bye.